Marc Raimondi for ESPN here today, joining me with Ali Abdelaziz, one of the top managers in MMA. And Ali, there is a ton that I want to ask you about. And the first thing I want to start with is Justin Gaethje. Just a few days ago, Justin Gaethje won the BMF title, knocked out Dustin Poirier. Tremendous performance at UFC 291 in Salt Lake City. First of all, I mean, how happy are you for that victory, and where do you think Justin goes next from this?
First, I've been working with Justin for 11 years in Trevor Wickman, and can't find a better guy, a man, an honorable guy, and he showed the evolve and evolution of his game. You know, one of the best coaches in the game is Trevor Wickman. Is hand down my top two pick, one or two. You know, him or some other coach, right? But I think right now maybe he is one, right? That Justin Gaethje always entertained us by creating chaos and car crashes. He still creates chaos, but it's very smart chaos, very calculated. Give all the credit to Trevor, because at Trevor, he molded him the way he wants him, right? And the guys, he's one of the scariest guys we ever seen in UFC history. He's one of the most exciting guys we ever seen in the UFC history. 10 win, 12 fight, 12 bonuses. You do the calculation, right? 10 win with 12 bonuses mean die. He win or lose or draw, he always entertain us. When Justin Gaethje leaves, Dana White will use him as an example. If you want to be an exciting fighter, marketable fighter, be Gaethje, right? And it's good, man. He's a great kid. I love it was a great fight week. His mother was there. His father was there. We played ping pong. We have a great time. I was just, I didn't sleep much this fight week because I had to work, and I know a lot of them in the house. But it was amazing, man. It was amazing. Justin Gaethje has solidified himself as the #1 contender for the lightweight championship. Hopefully, Islam Makhachev go ahead and run through Charles Oliveira one more time. And probably in Las Vegas early next year, one of the biggest fight the UFC can make today is Islam Makhachev and Justin Gaethje, And I think Justin Gaethje will be Islam Makhachev's toughest fight because he can wrestle, he can strike. But I believe also Islam Makhachev is the pound for pound best fighter in the world today. And I see they put Justin Gaethje number 13, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think you have to put Justin Gaethje before Adesanya. You have to put Justin Gaethje before Leon Edwards. The way he dominates people. This is a real pound for pound, right? Who can just shut your light out? Who just... when you fight Justin Gaethje, man, I don't think Rafael Fiziev will be the same. We see James Vick was never the same. Mike Chandler, it was never kind of the same. You know what I'm saying? He's different. When you fight Gaethje and he beat you, you're never the same fighter because he takes something from you.
So let me ask you this. So I don't think anyone would disagree with you that Justin Gaethje is the #1 contender, and that's probably his fight to have after Charles Oliveira in Abu Dhabi. But we were in Salt Lake City, and you were coming out of the cage, and I showed you a tweet. Remember this? Yeah. And it was a tweet from Conor McGregor, and it seems like Conor McGregor is saying that if Justin Gaethje wants to fight with him, he's going to say, screw Michael Chandler. Let's do McGregor versus Gaethje. Now, I know the title is right there, but McGregor fight is a huge money fight, high-profile fight. Those fights changed Dustin Poirier's life, as far as financial gain. Is that tempting, and could that happen?
Listen, when you have a gladiator in an arena, the Rome Coliseum, they battles and stuff like this. Everybody be on a gladiator, but to be a gladiator, you have to be in there. This guy is a social media influencer. He's a hype man. He's not even a fighter. The guy is not even a fighter. He hasn't fought for so long. He's almost 200 pounds. You know what I'm saying? He just wants to steal the shine of Justin Gaethje. But if Trevor Woodman is okay and Justin Gaethje is okay, and this guy want to end his career, leaving on an ambulance from the T-Mobile Arena, he can get it. As long as he can make 155, allowed, like past multiple, not two, multiple USADA drug testing, he can get it. And he can retire. He was last day of his career, leaving. It's going to be a scene. It will be a scene we're never going to forget about it, because Justin Gaethje, knowing when if you don't fight with him, Michael Johnson is never the same. James Vick, never the same. Dan Lazon, never the same. They all have one thing in common: talk disrespect to Justin Gaethje. When you disrespect Justin Gaethje, he would take something from you. And listen, why would you fight Conor McGregor? You don't respect him. I don't respect him. The media don't respect him. And at the end of the day, too, Conor McGregor have a boss. Dana White is his boss. They spend a lot of money on the Ultimate Fighter. You got to tell him, shut the hell up, get in line, and you're gonna fight Mike Chandler, right?
Justin Gaethje's teammate Kamaru Usman was in the stands in Salt Lake City, and he was incredibly excited about his teammate winning that fight. And Usman is still one of the best. I have one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. Even now, I know he's coming up to 2 losses, but when do you think he's coming back, and what makes sense for Kamaru Usman next?
Kamaru Usman is finally healthy. He's wealthy. And November, December, I prefer December. Just make sure we have everything is good. He's running again. His body's listening well. He never got this break, And I believe he fought Leon Edwards, I think 65 minutes. He beat him maybe 61 minutes of the fight. I believe he beat him last fight. I think he got robbed in London. I wouldn't call it a rob. I thought Kamaru won. I might be biased. I think, listen, it's some guy named Kofi Covington. Kamaru broke his jaw, beat him two times. And it was some guy fighting, his name Leon Edwards, right? And they fighting each other. But the real draw in the division is Kamaru Usman. He's the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world today. I believe I put him top 3, top 2. Him and Islam Makhachev. And I'll put Justin Gaethje in the top 5 before Israel, before Leon, because pound for pound, dominating, brutalizing. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Justin Gaethje does. When Justin Gaethje retired, Dana White gonna use him as an example. That's where you should be. Justin, be a Gaethje, right? Like he said, be a Piper one time, be a Gaethje. That's what he should use him as an example.
I saw an interview with Usman recently, and he mentioned possibly Stephen Wonderboy Thompson as an opponent. Is that what you guys are keying on?
One thing I know this: Kamaru's gonna show up. He's gonna make weight. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is not gonna have any excuse not to fight. If Stephen Thompson won this problem, I think this is 2 guys who fought in the same era. They never fought, and I think he coming from a win. He looked good, beating this one guy, Holland. And why not? Why not? Just I think he's a big enough name to people care, and I think Kamaru beat him. You know what I'm saying? And I know he's a nice guy and all that, but this is not. And I respect him, but I believe Kamaru beat out of Stephen Boy Thompson like he stole something. But he's still dangerous. He's still some of the best. He's one of the best fighters in the world. But I think Kamaru will put I think he will stop him. I think he stopped him under 2 rounds.
You have another very good fighter in that division as well, welterweight. In fact, I think this guy is one of the most underrated fighters in the world, Belal Muhammad. And a lot of people think that Belal Muhammad is the true #1 contender to the title, not Colby Covington.
He is.
It's a tough situation, right? Because the title fight is made. Edwards Covington very likely for the end of the year at some point, November, December. What does Belal do? Does he fight again? Does he wait? Usman is still there too. I mean, it's a tough position for Belal.
Dana White gave him his word, and Dana White is all for me. I can take it to the bank any day. I believe Belal Muhammad, he's the next in the title. He earned it. This is what he should do to do next. But if he chooses, say you want to fight Kamaru, you want to fight somebody and be paid, it's up to him. But I think he earned it to do whatever the hell he wants. Nobody can tell Belal Muhammad what to do right now because he take every risk, he take every opportunity. He beat 9 guys in the world, right? And 9 guys all killers too. You understand?
Yeah, in a great division.
I believe fair is fair, and this is why people can say whatever about Dana, but I think it's very fair when it comes to stuff like that. And I think Belal, if he chooses to wait, he should wait and fight for the title. If he chooses to fight the #1 guy who's Kamaru Usman, they both know my number. They both can fight, right? But I believe, you work all your life to become a UFC champion, right? And he have an opportunity to be a champion. I believe, he has to prove. Kamaru proved he's the pound for pound a world champion. to me, to this day. Belal have the opportunity to prove that. You know what I'm saying? And if you have the opportunity, and if that's what you want to do, he do it. If you want to fight again, I'm here. No problem.
You mentioned earlier Islam Makhachev is fighting Charles Oliveira, defending the lightweight title at UFC 294 in Abu Dhabi. That Charles Oliveira was one of the options that Islam had, right? There were others. Were there not possibly Alexander Volkanovski?
Don't care.
It was always Oliveira.
My brother, it doesn't matter. They can stack them all up. When you're a UFC champion, you shouldn't be choosing and picking fights. Especially, doesn't matter. Islam is a bona fide, certified, he's a killer. If you fight, say, fight Oliveira, he's going to fight him. If you fight Gaethje, he's going to fight him. You understand? But I think Islam, his goal is to clear out this division and go up. He already went down. You know, he went to Australia, disadvantage, 12-hour hydration. You know, it's not even, and he beat, you know, somebody who's ahead of him in the pound-for-pound ranking. I don't know why. I don't know why Jon Jones even in the top 5 in the pound-for-pound ranking. But I guess there's people who do the ranking.
He's never lost I have him number 1. He's never lost.
I don't care. I don't care. You don't go 3-4 years and come back, be the guy who coming off a loss and become that pound-for-pound number 1. I respect Jon Jones. I think he's one of the greatest of all the time, hand down. I ranked him right after Khabib as a pound-for-pound, right after. And he's great. He's great for the sport. I'm glad he's back. The heavyweight division now, it's a lot of up and coming. You have Sergey Pavlovich, you have Sergey Spivak, you have Tom Aspinall. Oh my God, Tom Aspinall is a killer, you know. And I don't know. Jon Jones is gonna have his hand full. I believe he can be Stipe. You know, I'm not writing Stipe out, but we're gonna see if Jon Jones is gonna keep going and fight all these killers. I'm lucky to represent both of them. I think Sergey Popovich, one of the scariest guy we haven't seen in a long time. He's a Francis Ngannou on steroid. Francis did what Sergey did.
Let's not say he's on steroids, Ali.
I said, I'm talking about like he's a Francis Ngannou on steroid. He's not on steroid, but I believe he can do everything what Francis does, even better. That's what I think. He's more sharper, he's more technical. It's cool. Francis is a killer. Francis, you know, nobody want to fight this guy. But I believe, you know, he's the same caliber fighter. I'm not saying he's better than Francis or Francis is better, but he's the same excitement. Have you sit on your edge of the seat, you know?
A few other things I want to ask you about, Ali, and thank you for taking the time, of course, as always. There was a situation in PFL not too long ago. I think both of these gentlemen are your clients. It's Natan Schulte and Raush Manfio.
No, Raush is not my client.
Raush is not one of your clients. Natan is a longtime client, former PFL champion, Natan. And there was a fight, and Natan won by decision. PFL said that, I mean, it was a lackluster fight. It wasn't the most exciting fight in the world. And PFL basically disqualified both men, took them out of the PFL playoffs at lightweight. What's the situation there? I mean, I know that you have a good relationship with PFL, like you do many promotions in MMA, but what is going on there, and what is like the future for Natan and that situation?
Listen, it's no secret. Yes, I do have relationships, very close. Race is my brother. You know, I'm good with Don and Pete and all those guys, but at the end of the day, I have an obligation to a client who I represent. You know, it's like he's like one of my kids. Every client I have is like a kid to me. And I have, listen, it wasn't the best fight in the world. I understand it. Promoter put on they pay you to put on great fights. But also, when you put two guys who, best friends, train in the same gym, godfather of the kids, these two men have to go something inside them to know what's inside them. How I'm going to hurt my brother, right? But also, they choose to sign Raush, and they know Natan, his brother, and they use Nathan's story with him many times to promote PFL. At the end of the day, this fight should not happen from the get-go. I know some people they didn't want it, some people wanted it, and they got what they wanted for. You know, that's the result. Let it go. I spoke about the ABC commission yesterday. It was a huge honor to speak as the first manager ever to speak, to represent all my fellow fighters and managers. And I believe this. A promoter is always want to have a control. They're going to do what's the best for the promotion. I believe Natan won. The Georgia Commission, they said he won. And I believe one of the points I spoke about yesterday, Commission should regulate tournament. You have to regulate tournament. If there's this much money on the line, you have to be involved. Georgia Commission is probably one of the weakest in the country. They have no juice. They said he won, but what are we gonna do? You understand? But I feel Mike Mazzulli came from New York, Andy Foster, Vegas Commission. I think they should get back together and they talk about why and how to protect fighters who earned the right to win and move on, and the promoter said you're not, right? I understand PFL thing. They want to make a statement, you can't have boring fights here, right? But also, these two guys, they're very close. You should never sign Usman Field. And I think the way they sign guys now, they have to be like, hey, you guys willing to fight each other or not? Yeah. Or don't sign guys who close with each other or train with each other. And I know it's hard because ATT have $1 billion guy, right? You know what I'm saying? How are we going to do this, right? But it's just, in a way, it's an unfortunate situation. Like I said, we do good business with PFL. We know a lot of the stuff will handle behind closed door. I think Natan should have went on and fought in the tournament. PFL, they didn't think so. Now, if the commission is involved, I will have somebody to be like, hey, this is right or this is wrong. And I would be okay with it. Now, my only option is court. I never sued anybody. I never want to sue anybody. I don't want to sue my friends, but how I'm going to make sure Natan Schulte is okay? How I'm going to make sure this will never happen to a fighter again, right? And I think we all have to communicate. PFL, myself, we have to be like, listen, let's not sign guys who will put on fight like that or potential fight like that, because they have to put on fight. They have 10 guys. A lot of the guys fight each other. Yep. And I don't blame them, but in a way, you're taking somebody's livelihood from you. Without knowing, I don't think they did it deliberately. A lot of people say, oh, they did that to put Schamberger. I think Schamberger have nothing to do with it, to be honest with you. If I want to be real, and I'm not going to go here, trash them and talk bad about them or talk bad about nobody, because I feel this is not the way to do business. And I feel Natan Schulte is still a PFL fighter, still under contract. And I feel we all can make this better. You understand? They're decent people. I dealt with them. They do a lot of good things for the sport. And we all make mistakes.
Have you like started the process of maybe taking them to court? Is that something that you?
No, listen to me. Listen, this is the last thing Natan will do. Like I said, I don't sue people. This is as a man. A lot of people they say they're men, but in a way, I'm not Natan Schulte. I'm not the one hurting for the $1 million taken away from me. If this is what Natan wants, if I can't get it resolved, he can do whatever he wants. But personally, this is not my goal to sue people. This is not what I do, sue people, because I believe, this guy's 2-time division champion. He made $2 million already. It was a lot of good things come from PFL too. Let's not talk bad about PFL. But I believe PFL made a wrong decision. I believe they was emotional. This decision made the fight of the night. I believe they can handle it a little bit better. But the whole thing is, MMA as a sport is very young. We all gonna make mistakes. But I believe who can stop this mistake? Any tournament, Bellator tournament, PFL tournament, UFC tournament, ONE FC tournament should be regulated by commission. And it's not. That's the situation.
Speaking PFL, just want to ask you one last thing. Your client, Kayla Harrison, one of the biggest stars in women's MMA, one of the best fighters, among women in the sport, has not fought in 2023. She has not fought since she lost in the finals of the 155-pound championship in PFL last year. What is her status? Do you think she'll fight before the end of the year? What's going on? I spoke to her last week, and Kayla's one of the best interviews I think in the entire sport. But what is going on with her?
Listen, I feel Kayla was contracted to fight this year. PFL did everything they can to sign Cyborg.
Yep.
I told him you're not going to be able to sign it. Don Davis tried, Pete tried, but when you work with an athlete who lie and deceive and manipulate, you know, you're not gonna. I told him I know all along she will not fight Kayla, regardless, right? But now she's in a situation. If they buy Bellator, where's she gonna go? Retire? It's very interesting. Listen, Kayla's career right now. I spoke with Pete Mary. He said she's gonna fight in November. I believe she will fight, and we're gonna, we have, but this is one fight. She's supposed to fight 2 fights, but we will figure it out between us. I don't know if she's gonna decide to stay with PFL, and this would not be a bad move at all. Especially with some of the things you do, or she talk about cutting to 135, right? I don't know if she's gonna be able to cut to 135. I didn't see it, and I don't want to jeopardize her body, her health, to just make the weight, right? But Kayla is the pound for pound greatest female fighter in the sport today. Now USADA in session in PFL. Some of these ladies, they can't cheat anymore. I don't want to mention names. And I think PFL did a great job hiring USADA, because now everybody's is fair game now, right? And that's it. But Kayla
you think that she has to drop to 135 because it's not her fault, but the majority of the women in the sport are at a lower weight class, and she's great, but it's almost like she can't show how great she is because there just aren't as many good women at 145 and 155.
Brother, Kayla have options. And this is the last person I'm worried about. But in a way, it's a business. If I sit down and I can make a good deal for her with somebody, okay, no problem. Yep. PFL has been great. She makes millions of dollars there. Why not? Continuous PFL. But one of the things for her to stay in the PFL, Kayla have to fight up to minimum 3 times a year, because she comes from a circuit. She's a competitor. And she's not 21 anymore. And if somebody can provide me 3 fights a year at the 7-figure number she make, because that's what she make, PFL is the best place. You know what I'm saying? But listen, PFL did a lot for Kayla. Kayla did a lot for the PFL. For a long time, she's the only person you talk to, you write about. Nobody gives a shit about nobody else but Kayla in the PFL. Right? It's fair enough.
She was the face of the promotion for many years.
Yeah, she's still the face of the promotion, because Francis haven't fought yet. He's gonna be fighting in boxing, right? But wish him the best of luck, by the way. But in reality, man, Kayla's not gonna be. She'll be fine. Wherever she goes, she's gonna be fine. We just have an obligation now to PFL. We're gonna honor it in the process. We're gonna try to sit down and get some things done, and everything is good. PFL is good for the sport. Bellator is good for the sport. ONE FC good for the sport. UFC, they all good for the sport. Without promoters, what are we gonna do? Without fighters, what are we gonna do? Fighter is the most important component in this thing.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.